Astrid Buzin spends much of her free time thinking about wild plants. Her motto is, "You protect what you know," and she's on a mission to get people to know the wild plants around them better. That's why she created the game NATUR-MEMO, a memory game that teaches people of all ages about plant life.
I would really like wild plants to be part of our lives again. In fact, I'll even go one step further. I'd also like to see them on our menus, because wild plants contain so many important nutrients that are often missing from the cultured vegetables we eat nowadays.
These wild plants grow at her house in Potsdam, where she also gives cookery classes and teaches at a kindergarten. As someone who values nature, she was determined her product would be environmentally friendly. She made sure NATUR-MEMO was produced to a standard called Cradle to Cradle.
That means that things are produced based on the model of the natural world, the circular model of nature. Whenever you've finished with the game, you can either eat it, and it is edible, it's printed using natural plant-based colors, or you can just toss it in the compost, or even in the forest. So you don't need to have a guilty conscience. No chemicals were used in the production process.
But the cradle-to-cradle standard means more than just compostable. It also means that during decomposition, little to nothing is released that could harm the environment. Print house Lokai is the first in Germany that prints to this standard. Ralph Lokai inherited the company from his father and has transformed it into a fully green operation.
Basically, I think it's the responsibility of a company to make sure that its products don't harm the environment. We need to make a profit so that both our staff and the company can make a living. But we're not looking to make a profit at the expense of people and nature.
This means making every step of the process sustainable. The printing machines provide climate control for the building, which uses a water recirculation system. The machines are also CO2 neutral, and the paper and printing colours both carry cradle-to-cradle certification. Making the change from a conventional printing house to a sustainable one was an easy decision for Lokai.
It's not fundamentally much more expensive, but you do need to be willing to reorganize things. Of course, when you rethink production, a lot of things need to be completely overhauled. You need a whole new approach.
This is a challenge facing the entire printing industry. More than half of the paper thrown out worldwide ends up in landfills, and more paper is produced every year. Paper can take up to 20 years to break down, and that process releases CO2 and methane into the atmosphere. Alcohol and other chemicals from the printing process also seep from the paper into the environment. Catapult magazine founder Benjamin Friedrich began printing on a different sort of paper to save trees.
This is the magazine issue where we changed over from normal paper to recycled paper. Here I calculated how many trees were felled with normal paper and on the back with recycled paper. If publishers would simply switch from normal paper to recycled paper, it would be a huge step. It would be so much less damaging to the environment.
It's a viable solution for big publishers. The switch is simple, and Catapult says it costs them less than 1% more to use recycled paper. And if people opted for the same high standards as Astrid Buzin, completely sustainable printed products could become as common as wild plants.